Not puppets, no, not puppets. I do walk through life seeing people as worthy or unworthy investments.
Interesting.
Because especially like, it's to kind of bring it full circle back to losing my grandmother. We only have a certain number of minutes, seconds, breaths. So I feel like I was blessed and privileged to get the skills to rapidly identify the people who are worth my breath, the people who I can invest in with my words and my thoughts and my actions and my time. And those people will create an ROI that doesn't pay me back, but pays back my children and my children's children, because the people who learn and who apply and who support the work that I'm doing are the people who will make the future, the world of tomorrow. And the world of tomorrow is not for me. The world of tomorrow is for my family. So I feel like, unfortunately, that is what a lot of my relationships boil down to. And the people that
Transactional.
But all relationships are transactional. We just don't like to admit it. For me, I feel like because I already know all relationships are transactional, I now cultivate the transactions that yield the most, rather than transactions that just happen, where so many people are trapped in relationships where they don't have any return on investment from that relationship. Or even worse, they keep investing in the relationship and it's a money pit and it just keeps taking and taking and it never gives back. And they don't know how to get out of that relationship, or they feel trapped, or they feel lost, or they feel abandoned. If I had to pick between being somebody who literally looks at everybody as a win or lose transaction, or being a person who's constantly investing in the wrong person, I'm very happy to be where I'm at on this fence.
Does that change your life in some respects? Because if I looked at what people will be thinking, they'll be thinking, oh God, Andrew, that's a sad life. That's a sad life, just to see everything as a transaction.
It's not a sad life. When seeing things as transactions is not the same thing as accepting that everything is a transaction. I don't see everything as a transaction. I don't see my children as some sort of return on investment. I don't see time with my wife as some sort of return on investment. I don't see it as a transaction, but I accept that what it is a transaction. They want love, they want attention, they want affection. In return for that love, time, attention, and affection, they will give love, time, attention, and affection, and we will build positive memories for the future. It's transactional. If I want my wife to be okay with me taking a 12-day work trip, I have to put a little bit of time and effort into the 12 days before the 12 days that I leave, because I have to build some goodwill. Like, we understand that this is how it works intrinsically. We just don't want to accept that what we're talking about is a transaction. Going to the bank and saying, I'm going to take a loan in a little while, so I need to fill out my paperwork and get pre-approval. Like, it's the same concept. It's the same process. It doesn't mean I see everything through a lens of cold, hard transactional relationships. I see a lot of life that way, but I don't see all of life that way. And the parts of life that I do see as transactional, I leverage that perspective so that I can maximize my investment in the relationships that I do not see as transactional.
It's so true. I think the big takeaway for me and all of that as well is just thinking about the relationships that are really doing nothing for you. I've got a couple of relationships like that really probably aren't doing anything for me.
And it sucks. Even at our level, it sucks because you still see yourself doing it.
Yeah.
Like,
why am I? Yeah.
Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Like, shouldn't I know better by now? And inevitably, like, you come back. It's like getting drunk. I guess you don't know what it's like to do that. Most people know what it's like.
I used to get drunk.
You get drunk, you get sick from being drunk, and what's the next thing you tell yourself? I'm never getting drunk again. And then it happens again, and you feel like an idiot. It happens in business, it happens in life, it happens everywhere.
Some people do really waste their entire lives just like entertaining relationships that are doing zero for them. They like go for lunch and brunch and like the 2-hour phone call and the small talk on WhatsApp just for nothingness. They're pouring all of their life into these nothing relationships, these sewers, these leeches of relationships.
If they don't recognize that it's a transaction.
And they ask themselves continually, what is this doing for me?
Correct. And then you can't feel guilty asking yourself, what is this relationship doing for me? That is just you being objective. That is just you being focused on accountability and honesty like any good leader should be.
So fresh on me. Freedom!